Hello and welcome to 360. Welcome to the show. As usual, on 360 Sports, we have a bumper package. We're going to take from local to international news, from football to basketball to every other thing in between. And we hope it is going to be an exciting ride for all of us. Well, right here in the studio, I have a guest, and together we will be analyzing it, and that is Ikenna Okonkwo. Is that correct?
Thank you. You actually tried.
Yeah.
So much a good one. Thank you for having me.
All right. So it's nice to have you on the show. So we'll go straight into it. The under-20 Flying Eagles now did very well during the WAFU tournament, and they were able to clinch that crown and, of course, qualify for the under-20 AFCON coming up next year. And the coach, Ladan Bosso, actually promised to do very well in that upcoming tournament as he tries to improve the Flying Eagles going into that tournament. And, of course, we have a lot of hope when it comes to that. I think the Flying Eagles now are a bright spot when it comes to Nigerian football.
Yeah, you know, a lot of expectations have been placed on our junior teams, the Flying Eagles. When you talk about the men football, then the Falconets and Flamingos, the under-17.
Exactly.
Falconets is under-20 for women. So the expectations are high from Nigerians and from the officials of both the sports ministry and, of course, the parent football body in Nigeria, NFF.
Yes.
So it's like kind of piling on pressure on them because the Super Eagles, the father of all the football
teams, yes,
failed to deliver, some weeks ago when they didn't qualify for the upcoming World Cup for this year. So it's a good one that they were able to deliver at WAFU, that was played in Benin Republic. So much expectations came in line, and of course.
But do you think they can handle those expectations? Do you think it will be too much for their young shoulders?
They have the first phase by qualifying for the under-20 AFCON. It's a good one. They were able to show, though not so much goals we have scored, because of course in West Africa, if Nigeria is playing, Ghana, Burkina Faso, all of those West African countries, it's always not going to be easy.
Yeah.
I mean, we know ourselves. So
exactly.
At every level of whether it's under-17, under-20, or even the Super Eagles,
exactly,
it's always sometimes going to end in ding-dong or maybe a goal apiece and all. So it's a good one that tactically they were able to grill themselves all through the 4 matches that they played, the group stage 2 matches, then semi-final and the final.
Exactly.
So moving on, I believe that they will be able to, fine-tune 1 or 2 areas that they need to.
So at the end of the day now, coming to the AFCON next year, do you think they have what it takes to actually win the title?
Sure, they will. I mean, having gone through this, I'm not saying that it's a ticket for them to just go and blast and win like that.
Exactly.
But it's going to bring some money, experiences their way. I mean, about 3 players in our team made the best 11.
Okay.
I mean, the best 11.
Yeah.
In every football match, there is a first 11. So out of 11 of the best 11 in Africa, in West Africa, I mean, 3 of our players are in the 3.
Exactly.
So it's a good thing. Goalkeeper, then 2 other, I think they are either midfielder and then 1 other forward.
Okay.
So it's, going to be
so you see, we can translate from being regional champions to African champions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the coach actually promised us that he's going to keep on improving the team until when we get to that tournament in Egypt.
Yeah.
So do you think this is like is a bright spot, or should I say it's a good omen for the Super Eagles, at least, since this serves as like a conveyor belt of talent to the Super Eagles?
Yeah, I think better take away from this tournament and then the one that's coming up that is higher. Still under 20, is that, like the minister said when he was welcoming them, when he tried to host them some 2 days ago, is that there is need to build from the grassroots.
Yeah.
Before now, I mean, in the 90s, 94, 96, when we did well,
Exactly.
I mean, up to somewhere around 98, you see that we had bulk of our players in the Super Eagles come from the home. I mean, come from the domestic league, the Enyimba, Kano Pillars, Plateau United, and all of that.
Exactly.
So, but what happens since like 2010 up until now is whenever we have a tournament or a qualifier, we just rush, get people from Europe,
arrange a couple of players in air.
Gather them. Now they are good players, no doubt. But football is not an individual
team. It's a team thing.
It's a team sport. So if anything would do well, largely it depends on how the players come together to blend with each other's pattern of play, which has been lacking with our Super Eagles. So anytime we want to play any match, we'll have our heart in our mouth, trying to. But if we have a team that is formidable, that we have like out of the 11 best players we have like 7 to 8 coming from domestic league.
Exactly.
It will make some sense that at least those 8 people would they already know themselves. If they like player in Plateau knows.
The player in
Enyimba guy will do the one in Kano Pillars, the one in the Rangers, just like that. So it's going to be build a lot of confidence, not just in the team, but in the mind of Nigerians, the spectators actually, because Nigerians, for them, football is first, and it's the biggest sport they could.
Exactly. Well, football is first, and of course, the biggest sport that we have right here in Nigeria. And we actually hope that the under-20 Flying Eagles will be able to do us proud, as they have done in the regional championship. They can go on to be continental champions as well. And speaking about the Eagles, the Super Eagles now, we're talking about the home-based Eagles. We have a couple of friendlies lined up, and the home-based Eagles are already in the United States, ahead of the Mexico and Ecuador friendlies. Well, we hope that we're looking towards the camp swelling up with the coming of the invited foreign-based players, as the European leagues are actually rounding up. So we have a lot of home-based players right now in the Super Eagles. With these guys that were called up, and do we expect something different, or is it going to be the same thing? We invite home-based Eagles, and when the European boys come, the home-based Eagles are cast aside. or do we see an integration like we've always wanted, just like you talked about?
Yeah, it's good that we have a lot of. I mean, not just a lot. They are not so much. About 7 of them.
Yes.
Well, because of visa issues, I think they are prone to like 6 now.
Exactly.
So not much, but it's something compared to what used to be.
Yes.
Don't forget that this same home-based Super Eagles played against Mexico sometimes, I think last year. I mean, completely home-based.
Exactly.
And they went and were beaten.
Yes.
To me, for me, it's not all about whether you win or not. It's about the build-up. It's about sustainability. There is need to keep doing this because it's been long we left the normal thing, quote unquote. So it will take a while to blend, but once it blends, it will click.
Okay. So, but the thing is, a lot of people are saying, why are we playing Mexico and Ecuador? Why are we even playing friendlies? We're not going to the World Cup. Other teams are fine-tuning their teams for the World Cup, and we are playing Mexico and Ecuador in friendlies. What's the point?
Yeah, the point is that in every month, there is this FIFA window.
Exactly.
And every FIFA window is open for different nationals, different countries to do an activity. And the activity is to play football for 90 minutes.
Exactly.
And then from there, the ranking points come. And from there also, whether it's a qualifier, like in Europe, they'll be playing what is called Nations League.
Yes.
In this same period that we are playing in Africa, maybe whether qualifier. Well, of course, in the whole of Africa now, in this weekend, and then so next week is going to be all about, friendlies, whether you are going for World Cup or going for whatever. I mean, so it is a window, and one is a window provided by FIFA. Secondly, for each team, it provides a platform for the teams to begin to look at what they will minus and plus, just like we are doing right now. We are trying to, the minister had spoken a lot, and then the NFF, they are listening now, trying to, integrate the home-based guys. And then let's see how they could, blend with the foreign-based
players.
So from there, we could begin to look at, because most of the times we've done done something significant in football. It's always been that the home base played so much part. The last time we won Nations Cup in 2013, under Nkechi,
exactly.
it was a home-based guy, Zondemba, who scored that winner goal in the final.
Yes.
And it got us that cup back after about 13 years or so.
Yes,
but it was a long time that we didn't win it. So there is need for this, whether it's for points that it will give us or it reduce for us from FIFA.
For the rankings, exactly.
For our team,
because there is a huge possibility that we might end up losing points after this one.
If we don't do well in the matches, of course we will lose points.
Yes, but is there how do you say, can we say that we're positive, that we can have a positive result?
The positive, like I said, is the coaches, thank God, I mean, these are new set of coaches that are coming together.
So they're looking at it from a different perspective.
Yes, this is their first match. I mean, the new foreign guy, Pizarro, then Finidi George has not been in the national team before. He's the second, I mean, his first assistant. Salifa has been there, but of course, this platform provides opportunity for them to work together and look at what they will start building. You know, they're trying to build from scratch right now.
Exactly.
Because we didn't qualify. So from now till next month, that we're going to start doing the Nations Cup qualifier, so they will see what they can get out of, you know, this two qualifier and then move on with it.
All right, so I think we can't be able to really judge exactly what the new technical crew has or what the new blend of players can actually do until after these friendlies. They'll actually give us an indication of
I mean, nobody should expect them that they should just go and win or whatever. No, it's a first for them. They should be able to, you know, try out players, because of course the friendly will give them opportunity to try out players. Almost, if not almost, all the players that they have gone with.
Yeah, not to forget that the Nations Cup is coming up next year.
Yeah, the qualifier actually starts by next month.
Exactly,
so
it starts in June.
Yeah,
so I think there's no time to waste.
There's no time to waste.
Yeah, well, there is absolutely no time to waste as we try to get the Super Eagles that we dream of, the Super Eagles that we hope will go and make us proud in the AFCON coming up next year. Speaking about the AFCON coming up next year, CAF has actually decided to ban or remove Zimbabwe and Kenya from the CAF qualifiers that are coming up because of the current FIFA ban they are under at the present moment. Zimbabwe and Kenya were actually banned by FIFA because of, as they put it, government interference in football, and that was why they were actually banned from that. And CAF has decided to remove them, even though they were part of the initial draw that was made for the qualifiers, but they were put in separate groups so that we can avoid a situation of having two groups one group that has only two teams in there. So, so that is the situation right now with Kenya and Zimbabwe. But the qualifiers are starting next month. So in a situation whereby they don't get that ban lifted before the qualifiers, that means they're completely out of it.
Of course, it happens. It happens. Like you have not talked about basketball yet.
Yes.
As it is, Nigeria is not doing anything in basketball at international level. Though not FIBA, the controlling body globally that banned us.
Yeah,
we banned
ourselves.
We want to put our house in order since the gladiators or those that lead don't want to come together to forge a common front.
Yeah, so, well, we've always talked about government interference in football, most especially in Africa. But the thing is, most of our football federations don't run themselves. They actually be funded by the government. Yeah. So can we completely remove government interference if they are the ones that pay the bills?
You see, this is the hypocrisy, I call it. You know, quote me, I'm the one that say about that. It's not as if it's written anywhere.
Yeah.
I call it hypocrisy that happens, you know, this shenanigans, you know, when you say FIFA is providing the policies, then whatever country that belongs as a member, you know, provides the resources. And though FIFA at some point, like those that qualify for the World Cup,
yes,
they will have some grants.
Exactly, they get some grants, yeah.
However, the major and regular money comes from government or from the country, whether it's government or whatever money that comes from a country, I mean, is assumed to come from the government.
Exactly.
I mean, government makes the policy or try to put whatever in place. So it's somehow confusing to the fans that sometimes the controlling body, the global body will say, government is interfering. I mean, if somebody is giving you money, so for example, if you live in someone's house, I mean, it's the person that owns the house that will say,
you come back by this time.
C.
Yes, you don't go to this room.
Yeah, I mean, this is how you operate. I mean, it's part of the house.
Yes.
So you can't necessarily come and tell him that because you pay money or something. But it's normal that if one who pays the piper dictates it too. I mean, it's just normal. So I wouldn't know how FIFA tries to control this, because over time it has happened, especially they look at African countries. Most of this interference thing happen, they just put out African countries and just slam ban and all of that on these countries.
Well, there are lots of other federations that are being run by the government as well.
I mean, so it doesn't really put the game to be a smooth one. I mean, if there are issues, the best thing is to come on the table and discuss it. I mean, whether government, whether FIFA, everybody will want to shift or adjust to make things work. Not for just FIFA to come and say, we are banning this.
We're banning this.
I mean, after all the money is and all spent.
Exactly. So, well, how bad or how good is this for African football when we have national teams being banned by FIFA and by CAF from participating in tournaments? I mean, like it's going to be a loss for the Kenyan players, for the Zimbabwean players to not be having the opportunity to play at the AFCON. Does it make it less competitive because we have we're thinning the herd? So to speak?
It's a loss all over. You know, just like we didn't qualify for World Cup.
Yeah.
Lots of. Do you know how many sponsors? I mean, whether it's status sponsor or whatever sponsor that Super Eagles have. Do you know what those sponsors are losing right now? Do you know what the person on the roadside who want to sell the jersey is losing right now? Do you know what some banks will be losing as well? Because there will be transactions, people will be going for
the World Cup,
for visa, for Qatar visa and all of that.
Foreign exchange.
I mean, exchanges and stuff. So everybody is losing when it comes to things not working the way is expected, especially when it comes to this ban of a thing. So that's why I said the best is not always that FIFA will push the threat of ban. I mean, they have so many officials. Even from the CAF level, they could start discussions. If there are infringements at any point, you think the country's leadership is interfering in what the football authority in the country is doing. I mean, you come down, or you invite them
so that you
for a
sit
discussion.
down and discuss.
Yes. I mean, what happened? They will explain this, that, and then you people will discuss and say, why not this, why not that?
Exactly.
It helps because once that happens, that ban thing happens, everybody is at the receiving end.
Everybody is definitely at the receiving end, and it's not all about bans, and it's not all about disqualifications. We need dialogue as well, so that we can be able to help the game that we all love. Well, talking about the game that we love, just like we alluded to earlier, the European season has come to an end. Lots of leagues have actually rounded up. The winners have been crowned, relegated ones have been relegated. So now there's not much when it comes to European football, but the most interesting thing is a transfer window. Transfer window is opening and we have speculations here and there. People want speculating on who's going where and who's buying who. What is most important to us mostly is our own Nigerian players. A lot of them did very well during the last season, and one of them is actually Victor Osimhen. He did very well for Napoli, scored lots of important goals, barring the injury that truncated his season a little bit. But I think he had a phenomenal season. So what we're hearing now is that AC Milan, new Italian champions, and of course Arsenal, who are somewhere there in the wilderness of English football, are linked with Osimhen. Do you think this is a good thing for him and for Nigerian football in general, that we have our very own being linked with big clubs like that?
Yeah. I mean, very good one for him. I mean, firstly, as a player, I mean, the money, whatever money he gets, the larger chunk of it, because of course there are other sharings here and there.
Exactly.
So, but he gets the better part of the money. Then it's good for the team, Super Eagles. I mean, the national team that he belongs. I mean, he gives us also a good status because currently he is the costliest player Nigeria has right now. Yeah. I mean, out there in Europe. So that at the time it was Man U also coming in. Newcastle too is still on the table.
Exactly.
And Arsenal seem to be having a better foot because the agent learned some yesterday or so. Established discussion and all. So whatever, it's a good thing for him. I just want to believe that he will continually keep his calm, even though he's the kind of player that sometimes he could bust up on things.
Exactly.
And the other time he was trying to reply Ibeba. I mean, someone that probably when he was playing, he was not born or something.
Exactly.
You know, it's one of the things that also limits African, especially Nigerian players, is that they don't keep their cool.
It gets to their head.
I mean, any little progress, they try to want to express and all. So he needs to watch it. And of course,
make the right choice when it comes to the next move.
Yeah, because if he doesn't go to the right club, he may also look like a player who is not that good. Just like what is happening to even Hazard. In the past 2 seasons, I mean, he left
because of the club.
Chelsea. I mean, he couldn't blame.
So now, if you're to choose for Osimhen, let's say the two teams that we just talked about, does he go to Milan or does he go to Arsenal? Which one suits him more?
Yeah.
In a football sense now. Let's not talk about the economics.
Yeah, I actually want to believe that Arsenal is better for him.
Okay.
Well, Arsenal will play in Europa next season.
Yeah.
And as it were, I mean, striker they had, Aubameyang, had gone to Barcelona. So right now, Arsenal don't have a point man like as it were, So Osimhen, if he goes there, he will easily fit in.
Okay.
Just like if he goes also to Newcastle. But he shouldn't try Manchester.
All right, well, he shouldn't try Manchester. That is a very interesting point that coming in. We're still talking about the transfer window. Chelsea, we hear, are open to selling Hakim Ziyech in the summer. And, well, he's had a sort of upsy, downsy kind of season. I mean, we know he has the talent. But what do you think is the problem with it? Is it the style of play? Is it a mentality issue?
Yeah, I think he needs more of a psychological, pep talk and all. I don't know why Chelsea want to rush to sell him. He's a player that at the time you least expected he would deliver. There are some crucial goals he scored for Chelsea, and I mean, some clubs that had the challenge that Chelsea had this season, some clubs in the mode of Man U, I don't want to start mentioning, will probably want to struggle to even do an Europa or Europe Conference
League, yeah.
So it's a good thing that Chelsea, amidst all the troubles, administratively and all of that,
exactly,
they were still able to maintain and then picked up one of the spots in the
But do you
Champions
think
League.
a move will suit him now?
That's what I'm saying. He
career?
needed to calm down, whether he's the one that's pushing for it or whether the club, I mean, both parties or both sides, they need to, relax. Because I see him as a potential that would do much, moving forward with this same club, Chelsea.
Oh, all right. Well, still talking about transfer window, just quickly now. Bayern Munich have made a very quick move and they've signed Nusayr Mazraoui on a free transfer from Ajax. How do you see that move going?
It's good. Bayern Munich want to launch themselves back to reckoning at the European level. They have been doing the local champion thing, carrying the league
exactly,
all the time.
Exactly. So they want to do something at
at the Europe level. They want to. They are hungry to get back to reckoning.
So do you think players in the ilk of Mazraoui are the ones who get Bayern back to where they need to go? Because we are hearing very strong rumors that Lewandowski is
of course, they could start building up again. Getting back must not be that once next season starts, they will click. But it could take 1 or 2 seasons for them to build and then get to what they want. Because at this point, if they rely on the players they have at the moment, of course, some are itching to leave.
Exactly.
I mean, it will not be good that they don't look outside and then get some younger persons that will give them what they want in about 2-3 seasons.
3 seasons, yeah, actually having a project and looking towards the future.
Sure.
Well, looking towards the future, that's what we do. And of course, we look forward to the summer transfer window. Lots of interesting transfers coming up, and we will keep an eye on that and make sure that we bring it to you here on 360 Sports on Trust TV. Well, that's how we are going to wrap up this episode of the show. Thank you very much, Kenna, for coming on the show. It's a pleasure having you here.
Many thanks, many thanks.
All right, so this is how it's been on 360 Sports on Trust TV. Do well to join us again as we take you through the world of sports and nothing but the very best. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thank you very much for joining us.